right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. This is my first Q&A session for my Etoro copiers, of which there are. I'll just quickly share my screen. This is my dashboard. You guys can't see this, but as a popular trader, this is what I can see. The PI dashboard, well, popular investor. 2,271 copiers. Thank you, all of you. I love doing this. I do it out of passion. I do it because I believe Bitcoin will make the world a much better place. And you guys have allocated a total of $7.95 million. Pretty mind-blowing. I'm humbled. I appreciate it. I love doing this for you guys. So since this is a Q&A session, I can see 8 of you are live right now. Feel free to write your questions in the YouTube chat, because otherwise I won't have any questions to answer. You guys have a lot of questions for me on Etoro, and the way the notifications are running, I think it's built for maybe not quite the quantity like that I'm getting of questions and comments. It can be hard to keep track of all those questions. So sometimes I miss them. I want to answer all of them. I go to every single one that I get a notification for, but I can see that sometimes those notifications disappear. So if I haven't answered your question, it's basically because, hello, Zach. It is basically because that somehow the notification has disappeared. So a little information to the people usually on this channel. So most of the time I'm doing a show called Toxic Happy Hour with my friend Poppy, Pablo.huddle on YouTube. And we have a lot of fun. We are very informal. We just basically have a lot of banter and try and make fun of each other. And we have great guests on. If you look at some of the previous videos, we've had, I mean, just yesterday we had Robert Breedlove, which was amazing. Then when he had to go after 1 hour, then we had another absolute legend, Knut Svanholm, who wrote a book. He came on and was like a surprise guest for 1 hour after that. So this is not a Toxic Happy Hour show. This is an Etoro Q&A. And so far, the only question is from Brandon. What's up, guys? How are you doing, Brandon? So the thing is, when you guys ask questions in the chat in YouTube, I can throw them up here on the screen and then answer them in order to help you guys understand the strategy and everything around that, like specific Etoro technical questions. Many of those I'm just not able to answer. So for those, you need to contact Etoro and raise a support ticket. I know right now they're extremely busy. So Jody, the platform is Etoro. I can just, let me switch here. That's, if we go, let me see, if I go to Copy Trader. So this is on Etoro United States, because of the heavy regulation in United States, then you can only copy someone on Etoro. There's some links below if you're interested in reading the analysis that I post on Etoro. So you can only copy someone on Etoro US if you are already a resident of United States. And if you're in the United States, you can't copy someone outside. So there's some heavy regulations in place that prevent that. But just to give you an idea, on the platform on the left here, you have a menu point called Copy Traders. And if you go to most copied so-called popular investors, you'll find me right here with 2,276 copiers. I guess it's up by 5. It's going pretty fast, to be honest. It's mind-blowing, and no doubt the price of Bitcoin going through the roof. on an almost daily basis is helping this. And then you have some other guys. You have Matty Greenspan, Kevin Stanley, Matthew Wester, and so forth. And the number you see here in green is the return. So it's rolling 12 months return, which is updated on a monthly basis. And so for the last 12 months, I've had a 406.62% return. This is very similar to the return of Bitcoin. I do believe it's a little bit better, despite I mainly 100% buy and hold Bitcoin on the platform, but I buy the dips occasionally. Like in end of November, price of Bitcoin went to about 19,600, 700, 800. It dipped down to 16,100, and I threw in some extra dry powder, basically, cash from my bank account, and bought the dip at 16,500. So buying the dip gives you the opportunity to outperform Bitcoin a little bit. I wouldn't count on on that necessarily. It's not going to make a big difference. And by the way, if you buy and hold Bitcoin, you're going to be doing phenomenal. You don't need to copy me. It's an option. So far, absolutely so very good. So it doesn't cost anything to copy someone on Etoro. The only thing you pay is if, when you enter all the positions that I have, there's a trading fee on Etoro, which is basically a spread on the price of Bitcoin. And it's the same price whether you buy Bitcoin yourself or if you copy me and then enter the Bitcoin positions. When you exit a position as well, there's a small spread, and you pay that. So there's no difference of whether you enter those trades through me or if you do it directly. Help yourself, do whatever you feel is right. I just absolutely love doing what I'm doing with Bitcoin in general. The shows I'm doing here on the channel called Toxic Happy are with amazing, smart people in Bitcoin, and then I love what I'm doing here on Etoro, and I share all my thoughts and analysis pretty much on a regular basis. Also down below you'll find a link to my Etoro profile where you can read different posts. I do usually post a couple of times a week to share my opinions. A common question I get is like, should I buy now or should I wait for the dip? And the price of Bitcoin on average is probably going up by like 0.25% a day, 0.5% a day. So it is very futile to exit Bitcoin in a market that is going vertical and thinking you can outsmart that by not having any particular knowledge of when a dip will come. So I stopped even trying to time, selling anything to buy the dip. That's not going to happen from me on a major level until I believe we could have a potential bear market, which may be a small bear market, which may be a correction in 2022. Until then, I see non-predictable corrections on the way that are so unpredictable that they're not worth trading. Instead, I believe in being 100% exposed, and what I find now to be working and a way to outperform Bitcoin's already astounding performance is by simply buying the dip. So when I buy the dips, it does improve the performance slightly, but of course it means you need to have dry powder ready. And if you're copying me, you don't have to do this. But I guess in that case, if you have like, let's say less than 3% or less than 2% in cash there that you can always again withdraw as cash, then that is ready to copy any buy the dip trade I do. However, if you want to get the performance of my portfolio, if you start copying me or when you start copying me, I would not. You should definitely enter open trades, copy open trades, because I do so little trading that if you just want to wait until I've rolled over like the entire portfolio and bought, it'll be very, very late and you won't have Bitcoin. So if you want to copy, you should copy open trades. All right, so I can see a lot of questions now in the chat. Let me see. All right, so Ricardo, thanks for the question. Will Bitcoin keep going up? So nothing goes up in a straight line. No assets go up in a straight line. Neither does Bitcoin. On the contrary, because Bitcoin is doing such a violent disruption, well, it's basically a non-violent revolution, but it's still, if you look at the numbers and the way they go up, it is a violent disruption of money, and like the entire money system of the world is being replaced in probably less than 2 decades. So the price will be like that. It's not going to go up in a straight line. But will it keep going up? Yes, that's my opinion. Anything I say here today, it's not financial advice. It's my opinion. And you trade, buy Bitcoin or anything else on your own responsibility. But yes, I believe it will keep going up until it actually reaches infinity, because I believe it will replace fiat currencies like dollar, euro, pound, etc. I don't think they stand a chance to survive, because they are basically inferior currencies. They're not money. If you look up money in the dictionary, money can store value. Now, fiat currency cannot store value. It has a built-in policy of stealing the value of your savings. And they have managed to convince all of us, almost, until people fall down the Bitcoin rabbit hole and open up their eyes. They've pretty much managed to convince the world population that the fact that we're stealing value of your savings is good for you. Of course it's not. Bitcoin will, because it is a by far superior money, continue to go up, not in a straight line. Let me throw some targets on it. So my medium-term price prediction is I'm sure we'll definitely hit $300,000 latest Q1 next year. So Q1 2022. It could happen this year. It could happen second half of this year, because it seems that fiat currency is collapsing really fast, and politicians' plans to print more and kill the currency, kill the dollar even faster, is only very bullish for Bitcoin, because more and more people realize, look, we can't store our savings in dollar. We need to store it in a money that has a 100% capped quantity, which is 21 million Bitcoin, of which most of them already are in circulation now. So that, yes, Bitcoin, in my opinion, will keep going up. I see $300,000 within, let's say, maximum 14, 15 months. And my end target this decade for Bitcoin is $20 million per Bitcoin. But essentially, it will be priced infinity, because by that time, I think that fiat currency, like the dollar, has completely collapsed. However, if we're talking about today's dollars buying power, so whatever $20 million can buy today is what I expect one Bitcoin can buy by the end of this decade. Again, this is not financial advice. I could be wrong. There's no guarantees in investing, but I put my money where my mouth is, and this is what I've believed for a couple of years now. And the hours I spend every day analyzing Bitcoin, thinking about Bitcoin, talking to other Bitcoiners, picking their minds, is only confirming to me that this is where we're going. So you can copy someone's trades. Never heard of this. Yes, that is what Etoro have as a function. I believe they're pretty much world leading in this. That is called social investing. So you can go and have a look at other investors on the platform and see, hey, this person has a great return. I like this strategy that they have lined out in their bio, in their pin post. So if they've done great historically, let me go do more of that. You'll find the link to my profile down below. But hey, do your research, look at different potential people to copy, and see what you want to do. Right. So another question here from Jody. I know who you are, Jody. I know you, buddy. So yeah, what happens is I have X amount of dollar, or I used to have in my portfolio. I bought Bitcoin for all of that. So if someone chooses to copy me for, say, well, right now the average amount is about almost $4,000 per copier, and if I buy or dip, that copy amount automatically would do the same. Well, in that case, if there is some dry powder available, if I decide in 2022 to take, sell 20% of it because I feel a crash is imminent, or I feel the crash just happened, let's take 10, 20% out before we go further to the bottom. If I believe I can do that, it's a moving target and I'll have to analyze the situation, then it happens in real time. If you have copied me, let's say I sell 10% to trade a potential correction, and there's no guarantee I can do it because things are going more and more bullish, and we're looking more and more likely not to have a bear market. But that's why I'm spending hours every day looking at this. But let's say I sell 10% and a copier has allocated $10,000. Then $1,000 of that copier's investments in Bitcoin would be sold real time without having to do anything. So if you're copying someone, you can lean back and do exactly what I do, or what someone else do. It happens automatically. Of course, you can't just lean back and forget about it for 10 years. That might work out, but you may also want to stay educated yourself and see if, agree or disagree with my strategy as it evolves. All right, so got a question here from Jeffrey Blossom. If I move BTC from my Etoro to cold wallet, will that be a US taxable transaction? Also, can I move the BTC from my cold wallet back to Etoro? So I believe, I'm not a tax lawyer, so this is just a guess. You need to check it out. But I believe if you send your Etoro Bitcoin to your cold storage, it's not a taxable event. It's not a taxable until you sell it, in my opinion. But Etoro, because they don't want to have, I believe, big challenges on anti-money laundering regulations, they don't allow you to send the Bitcoin back into to Etoro. You can only exit it. But the fact you can exit it is the most important thing. I think that when time is right, you feel that you can take self custody. All right. Okay. So Brandon, but he is saying one thing that always worried me about stocks and crypto is that in a market crash, the big guys and then the rest is missing. All I'll say, guessing what your question is, there is the reason the stock market recovered, in my opinion, since March so heavily, despite the economy being terrible, is because they decided to basically, do quantitative easing on steroids. And when they dilute fiat currency so fast, when people have any value, they will no longer store it in dollars. It's going to go to real estate and to stocks as the place to secure it, even though they may not want to buy stocks, but it's better than holding a US dollar. All right. Thanks, Steve, for that shout out. So Jody, it's a fun leaderboard game, and right now $7.9 million have copied me. All right, so let's see here. Oh, it seems to get the money out. All right, so I think this is the end of Brandon's questions. What is your strategy as far as stop loss, or when you back out in a big way? So I think stop loss is an absolutely terrible idea on Bitcoin. I wouldn't hold any other cryptocurrency. I believe it's garbage. We can have a long discussion about that. Search on YouTube and hear other people and their opinion and why it's so. But to try and focus here on the whole trading strategy, a stop loss basically forces you to sell your Bitcoin if there is a crash in the market. And what happens then usually is you're forced to sell your Bitcoin cheap, and then the market pumps and you didn't get back in, and now you have to get back in at a higher price and you have less Bitcoin. So the reason, that's one reason. The other reason is, look, as long as I'm confident that Bitcoin is going above $300,000 next year, and by the way, going to go into the millions a few years later, then I don't want to risk anything, any way of losing my Bitcoin to a stop loss. It means they are forced sold. I don't care if we drop 40%, which I don't expect. I don't expect us to drop 30% anymore because it seems so much more flat. But hey, it can happen. If we did, for instance, drop 40%, I would be throwing in any dry powder I have and buy up more Bitcoin cheap. I definitely don't want to be forced to sell cheap. That's the opposite way of acting. If you want to make money, you want to buy cheap and sell high, and a stop loss forces you to sell cheap, and then good luck trying to buy back in cheap as well. That is right. So Brandon, as you're saying, you ended up losing on it. So yeah, stop loss is I'm not happy with it. So if you have a stop loss, I would recommend having it as loose as possible. I believe as an Etoro copier, if you copy someone else, I think they force you to have a stop loss. If it was me, I would make it as loose as possible, so you can afford a 50% correction or whatever. I don't know if they have a limit there. But yes, I'm gonna have to skip some of them. Here is a shout out from BTC Moon Guy, a great Bitcoiner, fun guy that is usually hanging out on our Toxic Happy Hour live streams, which I recommend, I would say, as entertainment and also Bitcoin knowledge. But don't watch Toxic Happy Hour if you can't take a lot of banter. We drink beers, we drink Kentucky apple juice, as I call it. Yeah, so you got to have thick skin, don't have thin skin. Here on eToro, I'm trying to keep it a little bit clean. Not so much on Toxic Happy Hour. It's just about me and my buddies having a fun time with the chat, which is amazing and fun when we do Toxic Happy Hours, and just some great, really smart people we have on. So look, there's a lot of knowledge there. If you watch them, just bring your thick skin. All right, so easily said by now. So Nasa Hassan, so easily said buy now and wait till you sell in the future. And I was, yes, so if you have copied me, you will automatically sell. So if I sell 10% of my Bitcoin position, that copy amount of yours will also sell 10%. Now we could obviously have different amounts of Bitcoin in our portfolios, but if I sell 10%, you sell 10%. That's how it works, and that's why it makes it easy for someone who come in, and I see a lot of that like don't really know what to do and not sure if they should buy other cryptocurrencies that I don't like, or Bitcoin, and then people get a chance to see that, hey, Bitcoin is actually outperforming all this junk, which it is in my opinion. And that way I help people to end up owning Bitcoin 100% instead of these terrible investments, in my opinion. Sure, they might go up in terms of fiat currency because dollar is collapsing, but over time, they don't go up in terms of Bitcoin. That's why you want to hold Bitcoin. So great question, Ricardo Mines. I get this type of question a lot. I hope I'm not way too far back on the, yeah, I'm about 10 minutes back on the question. I'll try and speed it up a little bit. My issue is I talk a lot. So is it a good time to buy Bitcoin now? I would say so. I would never wait for a dip in a bull market, because what if there's no dip and then Bitcoin is 57,000 and you still didn't buy in? What you can do, what some people do, which is a great strategy, is to put in X% now. Let's say you put in 30% now. You spread the remaining 70% out over X amount of days, be it 2 weeks, be it 2 months, be it 1 month. So that way you will catch a dip if it's there. But if we continue straight up, you still got some Bitcoin. But overall, my take is, look, Bitcoin is going to be at 300,000, in my opinion, not financial advice, latest Q1 next year, which means, yeah, I want to own Bitcoin now. I want to own as much as possible. All right. So another question here: wouldn't countries take steps to protect their currencies and their ability to tax? So the more people believe if this is anything more than a store of value, the more risk of government intervention. So the thing is that governments realize that they cannot intervene with Bitcoin. They can throw some regulations about it, but they cannot stop it. U.S. Made CIA put down a committee in 2012 because they realized this is a threat to US as money. It's a threat to the US as a global reserve currency. That committee in CIA found out that they couldn't stop Bitcoin. So the woman leading that, I forgot her name, that committee ended up as a CEO in the Bitcoin space in the Bitcoin company because she realized that this thing she was trying to close down and kill was pretty cool and couldn't be killed. So yeah, it's the best money the world has ever seen. All right, I have Zach Drick. I have around $3,000 cupping units already doubled. Cheers, mate. Happy for you. I'm happy for so many of you guys. Yeah, Jody. So yeah, I know you from Bitcoin Twitter outside of Etoro, and great to see that someone from outside Etoro now gets to learn about how this whole eToro thing works. I have links down below so you can sign up. I believe you get $50 free when signing up on eToro. Once you make your first trade or deposit the first amount of money, I think you need to do a trade. And also there's a link to my profile if you want to check it out. All right, let me try and find another question. So, Jeffrey, if I can't move my BTC from my cold wallet back to eToro, how would I sell BTC if it's in my cold wallet? You could open an account on another exchange like Kraken, Gemini, Bitstamp, and that way you can sell it. But obviously, if you copy someone, you can't withdraw it to your cold wallet because the whole idea of copying is that when I make a trade, a purchase or sell, whatever, your copy amount will do the same in real time. So if you want to withdraw to cold storage, please don't copy me. Just buy the Bitcoin and withdraw it. Yeah, yes, I can see that's already been asked by someone else. Here's all right. Let me see. How far back am I now? I'm now only 4 or 5 minutes back late on the questions. So Marcus Potter, how are you doing, mate? When do you foresee the next drop so I can keep some dry powder on the side myself, or do you think BTC will hang around at current prices? I absolutely have no clue of the short term, and I believe no one does. Really good technical analysis may be able to say, look, the probability for a drop now is a bit higher. That is not my expertise. I don't need to really, I think, be able to foresee when they come. I wait till we have a drop and then I buy the dip. I will probably, it's my aim to do this on a monthly basis just to accumulate more Bitcoin. And it will happen a time during the month where I feel where I see a dip. It will be small amounts. This buying the dip will probably not be more than 2-3%. You don't have to do the same. You can do the same by depositing funds that you don't allocate to open positions, but when you sign up and you start copying, you should do open positions because my trading is so little that if you don't copy open positions, you basically just won't have Bitcoin for a very long time, and that's a bad idea. If eToro is a safe place to store BTC, look, self-custody, there's pros and cons. Self-custody is the most recommended. If you do self-custody, you can't copy a trader. But you need to educate yourself on self-custody because you can people can lose their Bitcoin if they do self-custody. And in that situation, an exchange is better, but an exchange could be hacked or something. So it's the pros and the cons. I recommend educate yourself on both, maybe split some so you're not 100% dependent on one or the other. And definitely whatever you choose, educate yourself on self-custody. Yeah, and this is a really good point. Again, NASA is saying, I bought Bitcoin when it was 20,000, and though I thought I was late of the game, or I thought I was late to the game, boy, I was wrong. Absolutely. So people still today think at 40,000, wow, it's gone up. I'm late to the game. But hey, if we are going to the millions, people will be looking at you, drooling over the fact that you got to buy Bitcoin below $100,000. It is not late. It is early. Bitcoin is nowhere near money of the world yet. And when it will be worth millions of dollars. You're early. So don't try and wait for a dip. In my opinion, not financial advice, because the train is leaving the station on a daily basis with the price of Bitcoin. Amen, Steve. There's a full town of Danes in Southern California. Drinks on me. You know what, Steve? That is Solvang. I was there a couple of weeks ago, and I also went to some wine tasting. Yeah, that was fun. It's a cute little Danish looking village, and it does look like that in Denmark. If you go into if you go to the countryside and find a small village, it is authentic. All right, so I'm currently copying you and plan to add more funds. At the moment I add, would it be the same BTC price as if I to open myself in minus the spread? Yes, you can't come later and say, hey, I want the price Anders got 6 months ago. You will, if I have a Bitcoin position, you will open the Bitcoin position and you will open it at the cost that it has currently. Zach Drake, yeah, you're most welcome. I love the interaction, to be honest, with other people. I love help educate new people to the space about Bitcoin. I love being able to at least make people aware that anything else but Bitcoin is, in my opinion, dangerous. So I like, I'm happy and love to help steer people in the right direction. Again, don't just listen to me, do your own research. But if you consider what I say part of that research, I'll be happy. And it might be a good idea. Wait, did I already? Yeah, I already answered that. I think you typed that twice. How far am I? I am only 1 or 2 minutes behind on the questions. If we're copying your open trade, wait, all right, let me bring this on the screen. If we're copying your, oh, hey, Brandon, how's it going? If we are copying your open trades, then every time we add money, we're just buying Bitcoin at that price, correct? How do we do it if we want the cash to be used only when you buy? Yeah. So this is a great question, Brandon. The way I figure it will work best is if you keep, let's say, $2-3 of 2-3% approximately of whatever funds you already have allocated, like 2-3% of the current total value of your portfolio. If you keep that as dollars in your portfolio ready to be applied to buy the dip action, then that would be the way to go. What's important is that you don't throw in 20% and say, not add to open trades, but if you add in 20% and it's just sitting there in cash, it's going to be sitting there in cash for a long time. But hey, then you can use it, I guess, as if you like anyway to have dollars in your bank account as a buffer. Hey, if it's sitting on Etoro instead of in your bank, I don't think that's a big difference because you can withdraw it, the dollar as well from Etoro. So throwing in I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5% in dollars and having it there ready for buy the dip action, then that might be a good idea. And if you need the money in your real life or in life outside of buying Bitcoin, then you can withdraw the cash. So I guess that makes sense. So the thing I'm excited about with this is that I kind of realized it's at least it seems so that because I buy the dip, I get a better return than just buying outright Bitcoin, and that is what excites me about the whole buying the dip thing. All right, another question. So while I read it, please everyone read it. I'm gonna have to drink a little bit because normally when we do live streams, Poppy and I Toxic Happy Hour, then he talks some of the time, I talk some of the time, but right now I can feel that my voice, also because I can't help but talking fairly loudly, even though I have the mic right next to my my mouth, I can feel that my voice is being used right now. All right, Oliver Scott. Hey, Anders, if I copy you, do I own the Bitcoin? Can I step out of copying you and continue to hold the Bitcoin? So this is where there is an issue. As I understand, if you're copying someone and enter Bitcoin positions, I don't think you can withdraw that because then you're not copying anymore. So I'm afraid you would have to uncopy and then rebuy the Bitcoin. And that is, of course, not ideal. So in that scenario, but I don't know if it's like that. So I would say, please do check with Etoro. Next time I get hold of one of them, I will ask as well. I raised $1 today. There seems to be some display issue on your funds not being 100% allocated to Bitcoin. I'm talking general now for some people, even though I am 100% allocated to Bitcoin. I think it is only a display bug, and I have raised that with my contact at Etoro. But to be honest, I would like a little bit more speedy response on that. All right, so what we got here, Zach, since not that many questions right now, how are you doing during this crazy time? Honestly, Zach, so for me, of course I feel sorry for everyone suffering in losing their jobs last year, or anyone being affected by family members dying or anything like that. That is all terrible. For me personal, 2020 was a phenomenal year, an absolutely phenomenal year. Bitcoin certainly has helped on that. I started doing Toxic Happy Hour with my good friend. I have other good friends hanging in and around that show. Sometimes they are on as guests. They hang out in the chat, and we just have an absolute ball when we do those shows. So yeah, they're crazy times, but 2021 has gotten off to an even better start than 2020. Partly because Bitcoin is shooting up. Can continue to shoot up at the current speed, but let's see. Thanks for asking, Zach. So yeah, I'm absolutely just living the dream and enjoying my life. And I hope you guys will take care of yourself. And you know what? The things we can't change, we shouldn't cry about, because if you can't change it, then you should not waste energy on being negative about it. Whatever you can change in your life, you should focus all of your energy on the things you have an influence on. Otherwise, you're wasting your energy. Put your energy into trying to make your life better. Put your energy into trying to make the world a better place, to helping loved ones. Take care of friends and family. Jeffrey, I don't think there's an assurance against hacks. You got to check with Etoro. I'm just simply not aware. All right, we've got Steve here saying that that it is FDIC insured up to $250,000 per customer. For U.S. customers only, only U.S. customers can copy me. That amount might be insured by governments to another level, another amount in other countries, but I'm not aware about this. Check with Etoro in your local country. All right, so how much does it cost to transfer money from Etoro to a bank? Just an idea. I don't think there's well, you know what? There is a fee until you reach a certain amount size of account, and then I'm pretty sure it's free. I don't know. This is an Etoro technical question that I can't answer. Checking the terms and conditions. I don't think it's a big fee. Yeah, so we got Steve answering this, a $5 US dollar fee, but I think that's until you reach your account reaches a certain size, and then it's free. I know in my bank account that I pay a fee of ridiculously $15 to receive a wire transfer, which is absolutely ridiculous if you ask me. I'm tired of banks abusing their gatekeeping power position. I recommend that you guys download an app called Strike. It has just launched. It's phenomenal. Strike lets you connect to your bank account, and you can they are very soon, if not already, launched in every single country in the world, and they have access to every single fiat currency in the world. And you can send 5 cents to someone, let's say in El Salvador, and they receive it in their local currency. It is sent through the Lightning Network. There is zero fee of you sending 5 cents, and it is received in their end as the local currency. But I could also choose to send 5 US cents to a Lightning Network wallet, and they receive it as Satoshis, which is the subdivision of Bitcoin. Strike is absolutely phenomenal. I will tell all my clients in my online ad consultancy company. I do Google Ads, search ads. I'm not looking for new clients because Bitcoin is keeping me busy, to be honest. And this is where my passion is. I love doing this for you guys on Etoro. Absolutely love it. I love doing Toxic Happy Hour. Love being on Bitcoin Twitter. Having a lot of fun with that, honestly. That is right. Let me send you $1. Okay, Jody. I'll take that. Look, I've always said no to, and several people have asked me to send me tips for what I do for them on Etoro. But you know what? Etoro, they pay me for what I do for you guys. So I don't want any of you on Etoro to send me any money. As I've said every single time, if you have anything you want to give to me, buy Bitcoin for yourself. It's going to go to your loved ones, to yourself. You'll have a better life. I am okay. You don't need to send me any tips, but I appreciate the thought. So Jody, the $1, you know what? For the sake of this, I don't know if you have Strike. Jody, tell me if you have Strike. Yes, NASA, it's called Strike. But for the sake of doing this live and testing if this works, I will accept if you send money. That is my account on Strike. It's Anders. You know what? If that would be so cool if you sent me a dollar now, and we could prove that this works with zero fees. So in the future, you don't need to be financially abused by the banks when they totally abuse their power position. All right, NASA, yes, Strike. Jody, I'm watching out. You better have Strike so you can send me without paying fees. Or I'm gonna hold you up to it. That dollar's gonna turn into, like, let's say 5 ice cold pints delivered at 5-minute intervals when I see you. Right? You don't think Trump will go up in value as Bitcoin goes up, or the benefits of their internet design start to be utilized? No, I consider Tron to be garbage. I consider Ethereum to be garbage, Litecoin to be garbage, Ripple to be garbage. They are, in my opinion, scams created with a big pre-mine to the creators, where they give themselves 70%, for instance, of the coins to start with. Then they have a lot of money for marketing. They pump it, let you guys buy it. They earn more Bitcoin, and they end up sitting up with a lot of Bitcoin. So that's my take. But you know what? That is a radical take. And a lot of people think that you can make profit on let's say Ethereum. Let's take that as a case, because that's the second biggest cryptocurrency measured on market cap. Couple of things in Ethereum. First of all, it is still below the all-time high of 2017-18, while Bitcoin now is 100% above. All right. Is there a period where Ethereum did better than Bitcoin? Well, obviously, when Ethereum was launched from zero, it performed better. Anything launches better when it trades from zero. But what you should remember is, first of all, what is the current outstanding supply of Ethereum? Are you aware that no one actually knows that? Everything is estimates. The current outstanding supply of Bitcoin is 100% known and verifiable. Ethereum, not so much. Why? Because it's garbage. Also, nobody knows what the future supply of Ethereum will be. That monetary policy can be decided by the centralized Ethereum Foundation run by Vitalik Buterin. So And you know what? Even the most valuable thing, which I don't think Ethereum is, but even the most valuable thing, if supply is unlimited, it will be free. Oxygen, the most important commodity for us in the world, if we don't have it, we'll be dead 5 minutes from now. And yet oxygen is free. Why? Because there's enough of it. Ethereum has an unlimited supply. Why would you want to own garbage that is unlimited? So hey, no offense, right? I just want to make clear my point of view to kind of I could wrap everything in real nice, but then it might not have the same effect. So again, you know what? Ethereum might outperform over the next 12 months, but I would not bet on it. The way I look at it, look, Bitcoin still has like 500x return from here potentially. I would say that the return of Bitcoin right now, the potential is $1 invested turns into $500. So $1,000 invested can turn into 500,000. That is the potential that I'm not guaranteeing. It's not financial advice, but that's my estimate, which I have. I have argued for many times how I get to this. There's a video in my pin post that also links to this. Again, you can find my entire profile on Etoro on the link below to my profile, and you can look at the pin post. Right. If you're only buying, I still didn't give my voice a break. I gotta do it now, although we're gonna have to cut it short. So everyone, have a sip, whatever you're having out there. Water, what else? Coffee. Let's say cheers. Cheers to all of you. Thanks for hanging out, and I'm glad to be answering questions. This one needs just give me a break. Just give me 5 seconds. All right, that was good. Thanks for your patience. If you're only buying Bitcoin and nothing else, wouldn't it be better for us to buy Bitcoin and keep it in an interest-bearing account like Celsius with 6% annually? Yes, I guess, it really depends what happens. Just like Etoro, it is custodial, so that is no different. So the question is, how much, of course, do you trust Celsius? I'm not claiming at all there's a reason to trust it less than Etoro. Both are custodial accounts. But what I'm doing here is, well, first of all, buying the dip. So that improves the overall performance compared to a Bitcoin itself. And then, but the main that probably cannot compare with a 6% annual return. What I will say is never take a dollar loan using your Bitcoin as collateral, because if there is a hard enough correction out of nowhere in Bitcoin, like there was in March when Bitcoin lost 50% in 8 hours, I had a friend who lost almost all his Bitcoins because he had taken a dollar loan, and then all of a sudden the Bitcoin dropped in value so fast that it wasn't big enough equity and collateral for that loan, and then he was stopped out. It was basically a stop loss enforced. You could say a margin squeeze. But Brandon, also, so the main strategy here of what I'm doing is I am looking for a bear market or correction, something like that, to happen in 2022. And that way turn our Bitcoin into more Bitcoin. No guarantee I can pull it off, but that's what I'm going to try my best for. Trust me, I want my own money to become as much Bitcoin as possible. I'm not here for the fiat currency. I'm not here for dollars. I'm here to try and turn my Bitcoin into more Bitcoin. That's what I'm going to try to do best possible. There's no guarantee, but that's my whole purpose here. All right, absolutely. You know what? Well, I don't know if you're talking to me or someone else in the chat. I think you might be talking to me. Yes, as I told another copier today, look, when people ask me questions, I answer in a way that I believe is best for them. I answer also in a way that I think is best for them, even though it sometimes actually hurts the financial incentive that Etoro gives me. I just think that that's the only right way to try and help people. If you don't do it this way, karma will come back and hit me hard. And I prefer to have positive karma out there and actually try and help people. So, Jeff, do I think it's a good idea to use leverage to buy Bitcoin? Absolutely not. I think I just covered that because, look, Bitcoin already has a 500x potential from the current price level, as I mentioned, is my opinion. Anytime you start doing leverage, you risk losing everything you have on that leverage. And I would rather take 500x with what I consider a high degree of probability than try to get 700x and actually have a really big chance of losing it. I'm like, that would make me yeah, I think that's a bad idea. Just like Steve is saying. All right, let me Jody. So not available in my. All right, so Jody admits that strike is not. You know what? I'm so sorry you didn't say that beforehand, Jody. Jody, I'm gonna have to ask you for those 5 ice cold pints delivered on 5-minute intervals when I meet you up. By the way, so a chance to meet and say hi, unless this COVID craziness continues. There is a conference in Los Angeles. I think it's the 30th of April and 1st of May, those 2 days in a row. It's called Bitcoin 2021. I have a link down below that I don't make any money from, but it gives you 21% discount if you buy a ticket to the conference. I will be there. I'd love to meet people, hang out and talk and take some shots and beers. Yeah, if you don't like alcohol, let's meet before 9 a.m. Yeah, count Bitcoin, Ellen Strike. That's right. So yeah, so it's Strike is rolling out globally. It's not fully rolled out in the world, but as far as I understood, Jack Mollers, who created it, this young genius, hardworking genius, that has basically created the first ever real killer app on top of Lightning Network, which is the medium of exchange layer on top of Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin is the settling layer of the world's best money ever. Lightning Network means you can do transactions that are not transmitted to the blockchain until you, in the end, choose to close out your Lightning Network wallet or send it manually to your on-chain position. So it gives Bitcoin unlimited transaction capacity, Lightning Network, and for that reason, Lightning Network solves what many people used to say was a limited transaction challenge on Bitcoin. So Lightning Network, absolutely stunning. Neither, of course, Bitcoin or Lightning Network can be claimed to be 100% out of beta. This is software. It always needs to be improved. So there is no guarantees, but I trust Bitcoin so much that I have allocated everything I have to Bitcoin because I want to ride this potential. And then come 2022 and we cross 300,000, I will probably take something out and do something with that. Not because I don't believe Bitcoin will go to the millions, but just not to have everything I have in one asset for that simple reason. All right, Oliver Scott Tomlin. So further to my last point, Etoro says that we do not own the Bitcoin when copying. So it would not be worthwhile to continue copying if I actually wanted to own the Bitcoin. I mean, so dollar term wise, you could say it's the exact same thing as owning it, but yet you can't withdraw it. So, if you want to withdraw it, you should not copy. But on the platform, if you have an IOU on eToro giving you 1 Bitcoin, or if you have an IOU from the eToro giving you a copy to give you 1 Bitcoin, I don't really see a difference there. So I would say that's my best. All right, what else we got here? How far am I behind? I'm 9 minutes behind now. I got to speed it up a bit. Can I make money in the short term, or do I need to wait for the long term? Well, I mean, you look at the price of Bitcoin; it's going up double-digit % drastically every month right now. I would not wait. I am 100% allocated. When there are dips, I scramble some dry powder from my bank account and throw it in on top of that. I would not be on the sideline in a bull market. All right, what else we got? There we go. Moon Guy, thank you, buddy, for hanging around. One of my Toxic Happy Hour chat favorites. That's right. Keep it simple. Bitcoin and chill. That's what they say. Yes, I agree. Ethereum is a Bitcoin parasite. Ethereum is another dirt coin that is delaying the adoption of global sound money, which Bitcoin is, in my opinion. You are most welcome, Absa Films. And yes, count Bitcoin. Jody Jody is living in Cayman Islands and living the life. Here's another smart guy who chose to buy Bitcoin, and then you end up places like Cayman Island, I guess. This is correct. If it is not your keys, it is not your coins. That being private keys means if it's not in your custody, it isn't your Bitcoin. And it's a great point. And this is what everyone has to consider: the pros and cons of custody solution versus self-custody solution, and choose whatever you think is best. I overall absolutely am leaning to self-custody, but I still, you know what I feel on this Etoro platform is I'm helping people to make the right choice of getting Bitcoin. I think that's a first great step for people to end up owning Bitcoin, or an IOU on Bitcoin, which essentially in the end can be translated to Bitcoin, which can be withdrawn to your own Etoro wallet, not any random wallet. It has to be their wallet, but from there you can send it to any other wallet. All right. Who we've got here? Coach Bailey Coover. Anders, much love to you. Thank you so much, buddy. Thanks for all the Q&A on eToro. You've been super helpful to the community. Thank you so much, Coach. And this is what I'm trying to do, and this is what I feel I'm succeeding with, honestly, to help people who come in and at all different levels of knowledge and understanding. And honestly, if I am not there to prove through superior returns that Bitcoin is the best investment, people end up listening to the word diversification, which is great on other assets maybe, but not within cryptocurrency. Money is a winner takes all game. If you go back about 4 months, on my channel, I made a video called Gresham's a quick summary in Gresham's law. It's only an 8-minute video, and that's where I go into how he described what I strongly believe in, that that money is a winner takes all game. And for that reason, something with unlimited supply like the Ethereum garbage will not have future strong value. In my opinion, I could be wrong. Make your own decision. It's your life. It's your money. It's not mine. Right. So what we got here? NASA, I would not know if you're the only one with a notepad. I am on a laptop currently. All right. So Coach, I have not run into this problem, but I've seen some people complaining. I don't know what the situation is there. I know it's very difficult for new people to come onto eToro right now because as price move up, people are sucked into Bitcoin because they want to own a piece of it. So, this onboarding department in eToro and on all other exchanges all of a sudden have 10 times, if not more, the work now than they did back in November. That is the power of what we in Bitcoin, the Bitcoin community, call NGU technology. So NGU technology is number go up technology. Number go up technology, I guess you can guess it. That is price going up, and that is a very powerful part of the Bitcoin technology. Jody, really, you're learning from me? All right, I'll take that, buddy. And I'll still take those 5 beers. I'm not gonna let you get away with that. So Stan, yeah, so that's the whole strategy that I'm trying to do here, eToro, for my own sake and for my copier's sake. Try to sell Bitcoin before a potential bear market, but that's not going to happen until 2022, in my opinion. But to be honest, there is a threat to this strategy, which is why I won't be selling everything. I'll be selling maybe anywhere less than 20% likely. All of these are moving targets that could change. But that's the whole point of trying to take profits, let's say 10, 15, 20% before a potential bear market, and then rebuy back what I deem to be as close to the bottom as possible, so all of us can have more Bitcoin that you then eventually can withdraw and send to your own custody. Although, so my long-term plan on Etoro is that, I have a pretty good track record on investing in stocks as well. And I was looking for stocks to be part of the Etoro platform in US, as it is an Etoro in the rest of the world. That stocks will come to the Etoro platform in US once Bitcoin has taken over as money of the world and reached that evaluation that I'm waiting for of $20 million per Bitcoin. Then it will be the right choice by that time to start diversifying into stocks. I don't think that is the right time right now, because nothing can compete with Bitcoin as an asset, in my opinion. And I'm so sure of it that I put all my eggs in this one basket. You know what? I put all my eggs in this one basket, but I'm watching this basket very closely every single day, spending hours on this. And that's why I enjoy doing Toxic Happy Hour, because I have great discussion with Poppy that I learned from. My co-host, we have great knowledge shared from our wonderful, very smart guests. One of them being Jeff Booth, the author of this book, The Price of Tomorrow. You can get it on Amazon. And this is where you'll learn that the natural state of the world is deflation, not inflation. Inflation is something you've been convinced is a great idea by the people running the central banks because it's good for them. It's not good for you, obviously, that your savings are losing value. Deflation is the key to a world of abundance. We will see that because they have no choice but to implement Bitcoin. As Bitcoin will become money of the world. Even a central bank digital currency. Look, it's already digital, the dollar. What are you talking about? They will not give away the advantages they have of diluting your money and stealing your value and being able to censor your transactions if you want to send it to someone that they don't like, or to freeze your account. They're not going to give this up. And for that reason, it's going to be a terrible money. Like, that's one of the many reasons they're going to be terrible and never succeed. Do you think hardware wallets are safe, such as KeepKey? I don't know KeepKey. Never experimented with it. Right now, what I hear most smart Bitcoiners say is Coldcard. So that is spelled. You know what? So I think, let me go here. I'm just going to write some text right here. Which I then can throw on the screen so you guys can see it. So that is called Coldcard. Now, I don't have a Coldcard myself, but that is what I would be looking to move towards in the future, as many really smart people are saying that that is probably the best solution today. All right, what we got, I am 5 minutes behind the questions. Did you just going to be like, well, Tyler, you are most welcome. Hang out, ask questions. That's what we're here for. Rockape73, good to see you here. I do not think there will be another multi-year bear market because each bull run has taken longer time, and the price uptrend before the halving, in expectation of the halving triggered bull run, has started earlier. So it leaves less and less time in that middle between the bull market top and bear market bottom. So the last bear market was exactly 365 days, from the 17th of December 17 to the 16th of December 18. I think worst case, we're looking at a bear market for 6 months, but honestly, things are turning so bullish on all parameters so fast that I'm not sure if I'm even expecting a bear market anymore. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm expecting that we have at some stage a hard correction. That will, for me, be my bear market. That's the one I'll try and trade. But hey, it's not easy. I'll do what I can for my own sake and for your sake, because we're in the same boat here. All right. Yes, Eduardo. If you go back earlier, you'll see. I'll if you watch and replay the video. I covered this earlier. I'll just take it again quickly. So yeah, if you don't copy my open trades, you won't enter my positions of Bitcoin, and it will take you forever to be fully allocated to Bitcoin because I trade so little. I just buy dips now. That's my new strategy. That if you don't copy my open trades, it'll take you forever to have Bitcoin. So if you want the performance of my portfolio, and there's no guarantee that's going to be a good performance or a bad performance, historically, let me bring that out again. Historically, my 12 months performance is 406%. But so if you want the performance of my portfolio, you need to copy open trades. All right, what else we got here? There is absolutely no way that my trades have been in red when Bitcoin is going up. I mean, let's say you copied me at 41,000 and then Bitcoin goes to 40,000 and it starts moving back up. Remember, you entered the positions of Bitcoin at the price Bitcoin was when you entered. I am significantly up on every single Bitcoin position that I have. All right, what we got here? Do you have any other investments other than Bitcoins and Etoro? So here's the deal. For myself, I feel that Bitcoin is the most conservative and most attractive investment I could possibly do. So I only have Bitcoin, but clearly having all your value concentrated in one asset, it's known as being something that is wealth creating and wealth destruction, obviously. So that can really help elevate you to another level of, let's call it wealth or savings, but also it can destroy your wealth and savings. I feel so confident that I put everything in. But I'll tell you what, I have a couple of family members that I run a portfolio for, and because I feel such a responsibility not ever to put them in a position where everything could be wiped out, then I do hold some other positions. I do hold Amazon in those portfolios, not my own. A little bit of Tesla. I wouldn't have too much Tesla because it's done a huge run up, which means that the potential from here is less than it was a year ago. And QQQ, there's a NASDAQ ETF called QQQ. That's the ticker symbol, QQQ. It is a company called Invesco that has this, and that one includes Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, other great tech companies. It even has about 2% in Tesla. And that way you get a more safer way, but it's also, of course, less boring when things are great. It doesn't go up as fast, but it's still done, his phenomenal historic price development. So that's also something that could be worth holding. Let's see here. Right. Yeah, Ricardo. So, I mean, honestly, I do have substantial of my Bitcoin here on Etoro. That's the main place where I have my Bitcoin outside of self-custody, cold storage, which I don't make sure I don't have access to here where I live, because if you put your name out there in the Bitcoin community, you become a potential target, and I don't want to be that. So I have made sure I don't have access to anything substantial here. So there's another way of buying Bitcoin. If you like dollar cost averaging, I would always front load dollar cost averaging. We're in a bull market, so I would put most in right here now. But I did open an account with, there's a company that I'm an advisor at called Swan Bitcoin, which is a US based company. It's also here in Los Angeles. I'm an advisor there, and so full disclaimer. But I opened an account there. So every single day now, I'm buying for a set amount of dollars. I'm buying more Bitcoin, and I'm happy to keep it with their custody, even though they do recommend self custody, which I also think is a great idea. But you know what? I like to spread it out somewhat. So, if I should mess anything up myself, I'll still have some of this future money of the world somewhere in this different custody solutions. So, I gotta have another sip here and give my voice a little break. We've been going for 1 hour 10 minutes, which normally is not a problem. Our longest toxic happy hour is 3 hours 22 minutes with Daniel Prince, a great podcaster, super smart guy, super nice guy. He has a podcast called Once Bitten. And we went 3 hours 22 minutes, but that was three guys talking, which means the same amount of talking I've done now, I did spread over 3 hours. So my voice was okay. I can feel my voice is strained now, and I probably won't be able to say much in the next coming days, which would be a shame, because on Monday we have Katie and Nina as a guest on Etoro. That's 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Monday, 11 a.m. It's not yet posted on the channel as an upcoming show or scheduled, because I didn't have time to do it yet. I just got the thumbnail from our wonderful graphic guy, Chairforce. All right, let me have a sip and read the question. Films. Yeah, it's drinking yogurt. It does give you a little bit of a yogurt mustache, unfortunately. Worth the price. There we go. I think we got it all. I just added funds to your copy. Net investors shows the amount I added. Once I click on your name on a money investor, it shows about half the amount. So this is something I've heard from different people. I have raised it with my popular investor contact on Etoro. So I hope, and I've sent a link to them with someone posting this, a screenshot of what's going on. I hope it's a display bug. If it's not, you need to get compensated from Etoro. But I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know what you're entitled to and what you're not entitled to. There's probably terms and conditions that means you wouldn't be, but I'm not sure yet that there is any loss of profit. But I've raised it with eToro, so hopefully they sort it out and take care of you guys. That's all I can say. Thank you, Coach Bailey Cooper. I am the only 100% Bitcoin only copy, and thank you for those words, calling me a legend. Hey, if I can help you guys, and if you guys appreciate it at the same time, I'm happy. Stan, yeah, I don't recall you answer questions here in the chat, but it could be on the platform where I also answer questions, as I've said there, written numerous times. The communication part of eToro's platform is not, I think, really geared towards having 2,200 copiers and 22,000 followers. So I sometimes I think I see that some of those notifications disappear, and then you might not get answered to your questions, because I have gone and answered every single question that I see. But hey, you're most welcome. So Coach here asking, Anders, do you belong to a Discord community? Would you recommend? I'm currently not in crypto Discord, only stocks and options. I am not in Discord. I am not really sure what it is. I am on Bitcoin Twitter, where I'm having an absolute ball with my friends there. But again, that is not for thin skin. That is for thick skin. There's a lot of hardcore banter, and we call scammers for scammers. So on eToro, you'll find me more polished, because I think that's more appropriate for the eToro platform. I'm keeping it more professional. When you go to, if you watch the Toxic Happy Hour show on YouTube, that I do with my co-host Poppy, good friend of mine, or if you go to Bitcoin Twitter, you will hear me spitting the raw truth as I see it. Yeah, Eduardo. I'm not sure what's going on there. Hopefully they solve it. And so BTC Moon Guy, hey man, thanks for still hanging around. Thanks for all of you for hanging around, and glad to answer questions. BTC Moon Guy here is bringing up the ticker symbol for one of the most, if not the most visionary company of 2020, Master MicroStrategy, owned by a guy called Michael well, he's the majority owner, he's CEO, he's co-founder, he's founder and CEO. And this is the first publicly listed company in the world that decided that, hey, that $475 million we have on our bank sheet or balance sheet, and using fiat currency dollar as our treasury reserve asset, it's just, and he realized this after COVID stimulus really started putting QE on steroids. He realized that it's absolutely just being diluted in value, and that's why he did a lot of research. He did look into, should we buy stock, should we buy real estate, should we buy Bitcoin, and all of his research pointed to, and his analysis, that he should convert to Bitcoin. So that's what they did. Nice. And as Rock Ape says here, he's been Bitcoining since 2011. He thinks this bull market is different. No more 4-year cycles. That is what there is absolutely an increased risk of, which is obviously a phenomenal thing. And that's why I will only, even if I do, that is an evaluation I have to do when we get there. That's why maximum I will sell a small part of our Bitcoin here on Etoro and my Copiers Bitcoin, because look, if we just go straight to infinity, we don't want to be left just holding dirty fiat dollars, because then we'll lose all the value. And that's why right now I cannot foresee that I'll sell more than 20%. It'll probably be way less. And we got to look at how things are looking at that stage. If we had $1 million 1 year from now, I will consider that unstoppable escape velocity, and we'll just continue holding on to the Bitcoin. And then in the end, you guys can do whatever you want with it. By that time, there will be stocks on the platform, and I will start doing stocks on behalf of my copier. I bought my first stock when I was 12 years old. I did 20% return in 1 month. I bought Yahoo in 1997. I bought Amazon in 99. I started buying Google call options already in 2005, as soon as they went IPO. But I sent an email to Google when they were only 4.5 months old in January 1999, and it's an email I still have. I haven't printed out and put it on wall yet, but I should. People have said that. I sent Google had 10 employees, and it was still a small search engine, but I had kind of sniffed out that this was something future potentially really valuable. So I sent an email. Look, they were so small, they had an email at the bottom of their website you could write to, which they don't now. So I wrote to Google and asked if I could invest in them. This was January 1999, before the bubble of the dot-com bubble. I got an answer back saying that they had just received a round of funding, so he couldn't take me in as an investor, but he would let me know if there's any future opportunities. Unfortunately, I never heard back, but the guy answering my email was Sergey Brin, the co-founder of Google. That's how early I saw that Google would be a great investment. And that's, as I said earlier, I think I have, we all have strengths and weaknesses. There's things that I'm not great at. I feel that when it comes to investing, that is probably my core competence. So once Bitcoin has taken over as money on the world and there's no more meteoric rise in value, my focus will be in creating great performing portfolios for my copiers. So that money you copied me with then will be starting to be moved around by Bitcoin, or from Bitcoin to other stocks, but not until we had a $20 million per Bitcoin. Coach, so I presume that you mean this positively, that you're stuck with your $24,000 entry point on me, that you're up more than 50%, and I think that's in about what, a month's time, a little bit more than a month, early December, I'm guessing. And of course, and as you're aware, you can uncopy anytime you want. All right. Absolutely. So here's the question. Oliver has an issue with depositing and withdrawing funds. I know with depositing new funds or funds for new investors, they're absolutely hammered in that department that is onboarding and doing KYC, know your customer, AML, anti-money laundering, processes. I haven't heard about any issues with withdrawing. I haven't had any problems with it myself. Not that I'm withdrawing much. Yeah, so Etoro is trying to work to get a handle of this workload. Etoro has increased their demand for new accounts. They now say that if you want to open an account, you need to deposit $1,000 and not $200 as it used to be. Ben, please do watch this program or this stream on replay. I consider ADA to be garbage, just like Tron, Litecoin, Ethereum, and pretty much everything else. These are projects created to enrich the founders. There is no real value there, in my opinion. Money is a winner-takes-all game. The only reason that these other cryptocurrencies have a chance is because they managed to do great marketing and convince people that they're attractive. Has ADA done great last year? Absolutely. ADA has increased in terms of fiat and maybe also even Bitcoin. I think might have outperformed, at least during periods. But I don't think it will do so in the long term. That's why I would not hold it. Another way you can look at it, look, if there's some cryptocurrency that I liked, it would be in my portfolio. I have 100% Bitcoin allocation because I feel that there's absolutely nothing that can compete with Bitcoin long term. And I cannot foresee if 1 out of 8,000 altcoins can outperform in a month. That is just random pump and dumps. Trustin, and you are Tristan. Hey, buddy. I know you from interaction on Etoro. When you submitted a ticket to Etoro for that bug, did they respond? So I have an email. Look, if I submit a ticket, I will, just like you guys, hear back 1 week to 2 weeks from now or something like that. I have a contact through the Popular Investor Program. I emailed him. It's Saturday. I don't expect to hear anything until earliest Monday. To be honest, historically, I'm not happy with the level of support that I get there. It takes way too long for me to get answers on my emails, which I think is ridiculous when I have $8 million pretty much under management on Etoro US, by far the most copied investor. So I think I should honestly, that me and my copiers should get better attention. I guess everyone are absolutely hammered with workload currently on all exchanges because so much money is coming into Bitcoin now. You know what? I think that's how I have to excuse my contact, but I hope it can change. So my Twitter name, let me just, I will find that and throw it on the screen. It is at Anders _ but I will also just, what I'll do is I'll throw it up on a screen share. So let me just get that out and say share screen. I got to choose the right Chrome tab. And that is the Chrome tab with my Twitter account. So let's see. There we go. So that is my Twitter account. My Twitter handle is at Anders _ so that is at ANDERS _ but do not go to my Twitter account unless you are willing to hear a little bit more hard truths. Thanks for the interest though. Hey, we even got Marty Zal in here, a friend of mine from Bitcoin Twitter. I got to learn through Bitcoin Twitter. So Marty, just to make you aware, this is it's an Etoro Q&A session, which means it may not be as um, let's call it entertaining or quite the same thing as when we do toxic happy hours. But hey, man, welcome. Feel free to hang out. Happy to have you here as always. You're a great guy. All right, what else we got here? Anyway, you're welcome. Apsa Films. All right, let's do this one again. A sack streak. You were talking about Bitcoin cold storage and how you keep yourself safe. Can you make a video about that that goes into more details? You know what? So there is a guy called BTC Sessions on YouTube. He makes much better explainer videos than I will ever be able to do. And also because I'm not an expert on all those solutions there. BTC Sessions, which is on YouTube. It's a Canadian guy, I believe in Toronto. Not that it matters where he's from, but he does great videos. He's a very nice guy. He's very smart. So go check him out. BTC Sessions. Search for that. I did Tristan agree version minimum is being held. Yes. Nothing to do. Yes, Ricardo, nothing to do with investments. I do look different than my profile picture. That profile picture is 2 years old, and unfortunately, age is catching up on me. And also, you know, on eToro, I'm trying to. It's a little bit more polished. I believe I am wearing a shirt. I'm not wearing a cap. This is me just now hanging out with you guys and answering questions. More relaxed. It's my Saturday. I'm just chilling here, to be honest. All right. Cool. All right. So we've gone for 1.5 hours now. Marty, what's up? Everyone else there, thank you for paying attention and sharing your questions and giving me a chance to answer them. Whatever you do, I would say make sure to own some Bitcoin. If you're not copying me, you should own Bitcoin. Not financial advice, but my input, my opinion. I cannot help myself but ending the way I see there's no more questions now. I'll do this again in the future. I cannot help but end my session here exactly. Sack, that's my boy, having a beer and listening. I think you're having a beer with 2 E's, but you have your English language is about the same level as me. Then you're having a bear listening to Anders. Hopefully you're not calling me bearish. I'm bearish. Yeah, I can see you're saying beer. All right, so peace, Marcus, Oliver, you're most welcome. And now I can't. I'll give my throat a little bit, my voice a little bit of a break. Thank you for tuning in. And again, I can't help but end the show the same way as I end our Toxic Happy Hour show, and that is with a word of warning of holding more value in dirty fiat currency, which is the dollar, which is the euro, etc. Then you can afford to lose, because that's a direction. It's a built-in policy for dollars to lose value. They managed to convince you that it's a great idea that your savings lose value, but think about it, really? No. Bitcoin is a great place to store value. In my opinion, not financial advice. It's limited to 21 million units. Fiat currency, they keep printing more, and we can all enjoy receiving stimulus checks, but it means whatever money you have in savings, it's being killed by the central bank. So careful with holding more value in that. That being said, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you on the next Q&A. If I don't see you on a Toxic Happy Hour, you're most welcome to join, but bring your thick skin and your banter skills. And the chat is taking a piss at us, the hosts. We take a piss on them, and they make fun of each other. It is really more of a Bitcoin party than a show. Now it's a lot of things coming in the chat. I hope you guys can just read each other's and enjoy it. Have a great Saturday. Have a great weekend. Let's watch the price of Bitcoin, and hopefully we'll soon see each other on the moon. After the moon, we're going to Mars. After Mars, we are going interstellar, after which we'll be going intergalactic. Bitcoin, $20 million end target for my sake. Again, not financial advice. On that note, maybe on that note, after 5-7 notes of ending, on that note, I'll say, let's go intergalactic. See you on the next one. Bye.